Hi, I'm Matthew Schwartz, Executive Editor with Information Security Media Group. I'm speaking with Mike LaPeters from AlienVault. Mike, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's my pleasure. Now, when I think AlienVault, I often think Open Threat Exchange, trying to bring together data on the latest, greatest, never-ending, seemingly rise in threats. Where are we today with that?
So Open Threat Exchange, great place to start. I mean, it's the world's largest, threat repository. Lots of contributors. I think we're coming up on 80,000 contributors to it. It's what in a lot of cases we're known for, and it's actually kind of one of those things that really it drives a lot of what we do with our commercial product. With the way that threats are evolving and the speed at which they're doing and the number of threats that are happening. Last year, Internet Threat Report said 700 million malware variants.
Using 700 million new malware
yes,
variants
exactly.
just seen last year.
Right, up from 350 from the year before, which is just...
So doubled.
Exactly, which is a really scary stat. And that and understanding how to respond to those is what's really starting to cripple businesses today.
So how has the approach to helping organizations ingest this threat intelligence evolved?
Well, it's interesting because the way a lot of organizations have worked with the threat proliferation has been more of just either they're researching it on their own or maybe they'll subscribe to the OTX. But what they've been challenged with is really getting together some sort of way of bringing it all together and then being able to apply it in a real world fashion, with actionable information inside of their own infrastructure. So, looking at this, AlienVault kind of recognized the opportunity for building a platform of technology that could enable customers or partners to be able to respond to this really crazy evolution of threats.
And so not only giving them the threat intelligence, because obviously that doesn't help unless you can do something with it.
Right, speaking of doing something with it, the challenge I think is that you can be given a lot of this threat intelligence and we do a good job of making it easier to consume. But it's still security information, and security's still pretty hard. Even if you make it easy, it's still, I kind of think it's like a fighter jet, and fighter jets are pretty difficult, from a technological perspective, but we're the easiest of those, So, when you think about this, you need to have some really talented people to be able to react and respond to what's happening in the threat world. And unfortunately, the shortage of individuals that are really security experts has gotten outrageous. I know that the analysts are predicting right now that in 2020, we're going to be short close to 3 million talented or qualified security headcount. So you take that coupled with this threat proliferation, you need to find a way to help companies be able to react and respond.
So have you been working with MSSPs, for example, to enable organizations that maybe don't want to run this in-house, can't retain the talent, all the above?
Yeah, exactly. The opportunity for MSSPs is probably the biggest I think it's ever been, and I think it's only going to continue to increase because of all the things we've just talked about. But yeah, our platform, I kind of think about the way that we offer our technology. It's really however the customer wants or the organization wants to be protected or to be worked with is how we want to work with them. So whether they want to consume it themselves and figure out how to make it work, or they want to leverage a managed security service provider, our technology enables that. And I think that this growth of managed security service providers has been enormous, especially for us as an organization. It's becoming one of the keys to our go-to-market strategy.
Well, there's a huge impetus, I think, to work with MSSPs for many, many organizations. Unless you can do best of breed in-house, know that it's the best, keep them entertained, I shouldn't say entertained. But if you're an incident responder, you want exciting stuff.
Sure.
You don't necessarily want the small fry, you want to see exciting trends and things like that. So if I was in that field, I would think MSSPs would be a natural draw for many.
It certainly is. And you mentioned the whole staying entertained, and one of the things that AlienVault really enables, even the security analysts inside of the MSSPs, is that we take a lot of that, kind of like the work that's kind of like that grind of analyzing threats and looking and correlating and going through and combing through logs. That's all the work that none of these security analysts really want to do. We kind of take that off the plate for them so they can do the exciting and the fun stuff, and they can get out there and really get doing some leading edge things.
So is this in the orchestration and automating to an extent, or whatever extent is possible?
Yeah.
And then serving up the things they really need to be.
That's exactly right. The the goal is, and I think in a perfect world, you've got a platform of technology that knows everything bad that's happening, and then is able to kind of integrate and work with all these third-party platform and technologies that they already have installed, and then be able to have automation and be able to react and respond without as much human intervention as you kind of need today. And we're on our way there. I mean, we're seeing a lot of automation inside of our technology today.
So a lot of positive steps toward making that happen.
Huge positive steps, yes.
Mike, thanks so much for your time and insights today.
Thanks for having me.
I've been speaking with Mike LaPeters of AlienVault. I'm Matthew Schwartz with Information Security Media Group. Thank you very much for joining us.